Hey there! Welcome back to Throne FC. Today, we're about to embark on a thrilling adventure to unveil the absolute cream of the crop, the finest footballers who have graced the pitch this season. After a thrilling year where history was made, we're here to honor those exceptional players who have left us memorized, awestruck, and jumping out of our seats with their incredible skills and jaw-dropping performances. But here's the twist, I wanna hear your opinion too. So pause this video, leave in the comments what is, in your opinion, the best 11 of the season, and then get back to me. I don't want you to research or to tell me what everyone thinks, just leave your 11 and let's have a discussion. So without further ado, let's kick things off. Starting out with the goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez. Perhaps the most polarizing figure of the World Cup, I simply had to choose him. There are at least a dozen goalkeepers in the world who are clearly more talented than the Argentinian hero, but this season, nobody in his position had more impact than him. He proved to be crucial in Argentina's World Cup win, not only with his penalty shenanigans, but with several saves that were as important as goals. Besides, he had a pretty solid season with Aston Villa, where he stepped up and helped the club reach a coveted European place. For a guy that not too long ago was a reserve player at Arsenal, that's quite impressive. Moving on to the first man in our centre-back trio and perhaps the best in our current generation,
Harry Maguire!
Just kidding. Now for real, Jules Koundé. Although he has been playing a position that he doesn't like that much, it's impossible to deny how impressive he's been in the Blaugrana shirt ever since arriving from Sevilla in the summer. The French prodigy was in my opinion the most impressive member out of the best defensive line in La Liga, which contributed to a first league title in 4 years. While in the World Cup, he always delivered when it mattered the most, and once again, out of his primary position. France would fall short to Argentina in the final, but everyone saw how well he handled the pressure in the big matches. At just 24 years old, I can see him evolving to much more than what he already is. The next man in our trio, Ruben Dias, or as he likes to say to sound more international, Ruben Dias. The Portuguese star didn't have the best World Cup, not looking like himself at times. But hey, Cancelo and Bernardo Silva didn't either, so that's probably just the effect of going from a Ferrari to a broken Fiat. Then, he was sidelined with an hamstring injury, so up until the middle of the season, you wouldn't be wrong saying that the Portuguese centre-back was having a terrible year. But in a way, his absence serves a purpose. To truly demonstrate that the best team in the world can be a shadow of themselves without the solidity of Dias in the back, since it was in this period that City let Arsenal gain a good advantage in the title race. However, when he came back, things changed dramatically. Man City made way less mistakes in the back and even improved their overall performances, eventually catching up to Arsenal. Dias stepped up not only as a wall in the back, but as a leader that inspired his teammates to conquer the historic treble. The final piece in our trio, Kim Min-jae. This man has had an incredible and unique career trajectory. Before joining Napoli from Fenerbahce last season to replace Kalidou Koulibaly, the Korean international had played for Beijing Guoan in the Chinese Super League, the K-League's Yeonbuk Hyundai Motors, and initially Gyeongju KHNP in South Korea. Which just goes to show you that we shouldn't rule certain football markets out, because we can always find gems like Min-jae. Standing at 190 centimeters, Kim is a very robust centre-back who can easily win aerial duels, but this year he has shown much more than that, proving that he can also receive and distribute the ball really efficiently and helping immensely in the creative process on Napoli on their road to Serie A glory. Let's just hope it doesn't turn into a one-season wonder. Our first midfielder, Bruno Fernandes. Erik ten Hag's arrival at Old Trafford was probably the best thing that could have happened to the Portuguese player, since their styles match really well. He was the most utilized man in the new regime, much due to his creativity and ability to constantly press the opposition. In my opinion, and analyzing this solely by the standards of the last 10 years, I think I can say that Man United had a good season, and the vital piece was Bruno. He played 59 matches, and the most curious stat is that he was the player with second most created chances in the top 5 leagues, only behind another man in this list. By far, Portugal's best player in the World Cup and one of the best in the entire tournament, he simply had to be here. Partnering up with Fernandes is Kevin De Bruyne. This year football provided us with an iconic partnership, the Batman and Robin duo of HAALAND and De Bruyne. The Belgian legend continued to be the most creative man in Man City's treble-winning midfield, and I think that this season finally settled the debate on who's the best Belgian player of all time. He didn't have the best World Cup, but I don't think we can attribute the blame to him, since the Red Devils' biggest problem was undoubtedly their defense. And what makes his performances even more impressive is that he had been playing with multiple muscle ruptures and serious family problems in the last 2 months of the season. Eventually he got injured in the biggest stage of them all and could potentially miss the beginning of next season. At almost 32 years old, I hope this isn't the last time I get to put De Bruyne in one of these 11s. Right winger, Kylian Mbappé. I know he rarely plays on the right, but to include everyone, I gotta make some weird tactical decisions. But anyways, Mbappé has continued to show that he has the potential to be the best player in the world. He showed his true level in the World Cup, where he almost won a final by himself, while also becoming the top goal scorer of the tournament. But at the same time, that just proves how stupid of a decision it was to stay in Ligue 1. There's simply no competition for him in that league, and without any demanding challenges, there's little to no growth. Just look at Neymar, for example. Time is ticking. Kylian is no longer a prospect, and I'm really curious to see if he'll accept a bigger challenge or if he'll continue to be the youngest sporting director of all time. Left winger, Krzysztof Kvaratskhelia. The Georgian international is the youngest player in this 11 and by far the one that surprised me the most. I don't feel ignorant at all by saying I had no idea who this man was up until the beginning of the season, but man did he impress me. Joining Napoli from Dinamo Batumi as a relative unknown, Krzysztof took the league by storm with his technique, dribbling, personality and creativity. With a total of 31 goal contributions in 43 matches, he was instrumental in Napoli's Serie A win, being elected the league's Player of the Year in the process. Similarly to Kim Min-jae, another testament on how important it is to scout the lower leagues of the world. You'll never find superstars there, but you'll find many diamonds in the rough. Attacking midfielder, Lionel Messi. The man who completed football this year and made us feel like we were watching Captain Tsubasa in the last World Cup has to be in this list. He carried his country back to international glory and fulfilled his destiny, with many people calling him the GOAT of football. Although he had a terrific World Cup, in club football he was a shadow of himself. He continued to shine in Ligue 1 with 32 goal contributions in 32 matches, but in the big European games, he simply ghosted. In my opinion, he should be in the Ballon d'Or conversation, at least in the top 3 best players of this season, but at the same time, I think it's the best move for him to leave Europe. I've always heard that you should never return to where once you were happy, and the Barcelona dream move could have very well turned into a nightmare. I know that the last image that we had of Messi as a Barca player was him heartbroken and wanting to stay, but I also can't forget that he wanted to leave in the season before that. The past stays in the past, and I'm just grateful that we all had the chance to watch an alien like Messi play. Our first striker, Erling Haaland. Even though he scored 52 goals this season and finished the term as a top scorer in both the Champions League and Premier League, you wanna know what he said? I can still improve a lot. Which is absolutely crazy and scary for his rivals. The guy literally plays like he's in a video game against beginner difficulty. Except he's playing against the best teams in the world and he's only 22. Alongside Kevin De Bruyne and under Pep Guardiola, he can improve dramatically. And if he stays fit, I have no doubt that he can finish his career as one of the best players of all time. Messi's World Cup performance was fantastic, but in my opinion, there's only one person who deserves to win the Ballon d'Or, and you're looking at him. Our final piece in this tag team, Victor Osimhen. The most wanted man in this summer transfer, Osimhen was on fire this year. The Nigerian striker made history, becoming the first African player to win the Capocannoniere in Serie A's history after scoring 26 goals. It will be interesting to see if Napoli can keep a hold of him next year, with almost every top club in Europe looking to attain him. Real, PSG, Man United, Bayern, the list goes on, but his price tag is set. You might think that Napoli will not demand so much money, but let me tell you, De Laurentiis is one of the toughest negotiators in football. He'll not easily give in. And to finish this 11, I couldn't leave out a mention to the best coach in the world right now, Pep Guardiola. The only coach to win the European treble twice has left his haters with less arguments against him. You can always say that City wouldn't be the team that they are today if it wasn't for the money, but in a way, I have to disagree. City have had huge investments since 2008, but only with Pep's arrival have they become the world beaters that they are today. Besides, you can have all the money in the world. If you're not strategic with the players that you buy, you end up like PSG this year or Man United a couple of seasons ago. Pep is the voice of reason in that club, the sailor that fulfilled the club's destiny. And that's it, here's my full 11 and the bench. Leave your own full 11 in the comments and let's have a discussion. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like so it can get pushed to more people, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.